Greetings, my name is Barbara Ringrose. I'm the founder of WOW, Women Optimizing Women. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about WOW Does. WOW started off as a small networking group right here locally in Westminster, Maryland, and has enlarged over time. It's been almost 12 years since WOW has been in existence, and now we're more like a business women's community of professionals like-minded in what they do, sharing their interests, sharing their values, and referring business. We've become business partners in this community together. And as I say that, you can visit the WOW website to see what I'm talking about here today as we meet with one of our WOW ladies, Donna Biemiller. And also check out the website at wowwomenus.com. You will see the wowness and experience all of the pleasures and all of the dynamics of the ladies that make WOW the great opportunity it is to bring women together. Donna, I would very, very much like to introduce you today. You and I have known each other, and I met you when you were at WTTR, local AM radio station owned by Pat Sajak.
That's right, yes.
And we were doing a Black Friday in our small town of Manchester here. Mm-hmm. And I met with you and one of your announcers, Bruce Main. And
they are good memories.
Yes, and it was so exciting to meet you. We've been associated with one another, and I have followed you through the years. And
I followed you.
Yeah, there you go. And you were one of the original members of WOW, and now you're at Kohn Creative, yes, that does a local magazine called Carol Magazine.
Right.
So I always like to ask the ladies, how did you get here from there? And tell the viewers so they understand that sometimes you have to take a lot of steps and go through a lot of hoops and maybe experiences, and they've all brought you to where you are today.
Well, that's it exactly. And you know, you can't be afraid. You've got to go into it. And people will support you if they think that you, number one, know what you're doing, that you want to do what you're doing, that you appreciate working with them, and you really want to be a team between, you and whoever else, you're trying to work with.
And that's your clients, of course?
Yes.
Very strong part of the community you have been.
Very strong. But, Barbara and I, we've been friends a long time, and I'll tell you, there's not enough words to talk about such a quality person. I mean, WOW is such a beautiful thing that she's doing for so many women that they have no idea this is what they needed or wanted. And if they meet with Barbara, I mean, she's all about them. She's not about her. She's like, I'm going to make this help you, not help me. And she is loved and beloved by so many people in the community for what she does.
Thank you. It's my passion. It truly is to bring women together, much like yourself, because I find the women of WOW to be that engaging and valuable, and I want to uplift them, and much like you do with your clients. Mm-hmm. So talk about where did you start off? I believe you were doing videographies and photo shoots yourself, right?
That's what I was doing, Odyssey Productions. I did Odyssey Productions, and the thing that I love about doing video is that people don't realize what a gift it is a lot of times. Like you say, well, we'll do a video of it. And 5 years after that, they'll go, what's this? Oh my gosh, remember that? It has such a quality to it. And you have to really, love what you do and love the people that you do this for. Not that you're in love with them, but you have to care enough about them to give them such good quality. And it becomes so heartfelt to people, whatever they have in that area,
So as you're talking about that, it comes to mind that someone saw you. You were working with a celebrity years back, and you've often talked about that person. Who was that person?
Yes, that is Michael Jordan. The Michael Jordan.
That is so exciting because that took you to go to different places, you would go and shoot him.
Oh yes, I was all over, and it was just, sometimes in life we can plan what we're going to do, we can plan what we want to do, and then something will come out and go, no, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do and what's going to happen, And I met Michael, and I was never timid about it because in my way of thinking, we're all the same. Michael Jordan, you can get a cold, you can have other things.
We're all people at the end of the day.
We are at the end of the day, and there are so many people. But listen, when you're Michael Jordan, it's hard. It's a difficult job, really, because everybody wants a piece of you. They want to touch you, and I never did that to him. I made him come to me.
Well, you captured the essence too through your videos and your photography of who he was.
Yes.
And that, I think, was a great skill set of yours, because after you did Odyssey, the next step was radio, correct?
Then I went to radio, right, which, that's a totally different medium. And you have to, to me, it's harder because if you're doing video, people can see. It's a visual thing. To do something that's not visual, people really have to get involved to listen, because they can, go off like this and, not paying attention to what you're doing anymore. They're thinking about what they're doing. Oh, I got to go home and fix dinner, things like that.
So when you were doing at WTTR,
Right.
Pat Sajak owned that company. He
Yes.
was actually a resident here in Annapolis or something like that.
Yes.
So that's where the closeness of, he wasn't just on the West Coast. And I went to one of the events that you all had, and I could see that there was so much of teamwork that you mentioned and the support of one another. And then you had a team of salespeople that you did a variety of things. So on any given day, as far as sales are concerned, what were the things, the top couple of things? I normally use threes because I believe threes are powerful. And what were maybe the three things that you could tell the viewers here about what skills do you bring to, or what skills do you need to bring, or that you develop when you're in sales?
Well, number one is listening. That is number one, because a lot of people who are in sales, they want to talk about themselves. That does nothing to help the client. You have to have like what do I want to say?
Like a path?
No, like you want to have not a relationship, but you want to build interest.
So you got to build the rapport with that person.
Yes.
You have to get to know and understand them, and by listening is the best way to do that.
That's it, exactly. That's it. And just don't, if you really want to help a client, and Barbara knows this, she's best at it, but you have to listen to them and not just be me, guess what I did, who I am. No, that doesn't help the client at all.
So listening is a vital skill.
Vital.
And what would you say would be some other skills to bring to the table?
Well, I think that you have to relate to them on different levels, because like if somebody is coming into a job for the first time and you want to help them, you don't go in and say, oh, you should have done it that way, you should have done it that way. You really have to be, think of yourself when you first started. And if you do it that way, then you'll have more understanding of how to really help people to get to a different level.
So it's listening and then finding value in what they say to find out what their needs are,
Right.
what their past has been, their experiences are. So those are two very valuable things to do.
Absolutely.
Anything else about what you would say in your day-to-day sales job? Maybe another point that would be really important in order to be successful?
Well, to me, and this is, I am lucky. And this isn't something that just everybody has, but the thing is, if you open yourself up and don't be like, well, I don't want to talk to that person, I don't want to talk. you talk to everybody, you know, because everybody has something to offer to you, and you have something to offer to them.
Very good point, because everybody loves Donna Biemiller.
Oh, thank
And
you.
no matter what capacity that you have had since I've known you, and from what I've heard from others who knew you pre our getting to know one another, they loved you because you were that open and truly warm person. Where some people will try to fake it, there was never that. There was no falsity there with Donna, no matter what capacity. So WTTR changes, Pat Sajak sells, and next thing you know, you're trying to figure out, what do I want to be when I grow up? Where do I go from here? So that led you to another opportunity.
Rep-Kohn Creative, Cal Magazine. So this was a new venue for me.
And with Kohn Creative, one of the things that you drew me in, and in my previous world in mortgage lending, I was in the corporate world. We were having this huge transformation between two corporations coming together as one. And we didn't have really the budget finalized for me to do any advertising. But when I got to WOW, that then gave me an opportunity to do some advertising in Kohn Creative. And we showcased WOW. And your photographer came out and did a picture of me in my garden, which was amazing. And you were so supportive through the whole process. And I really appreciated that, because I was a little nervous, to be honest. You know, this was my first big launch other than my website, March last year. And you helped me transition into that, so I was comfortable.
Well, thank you. You know, that means a lot to me.
Yes.
For you to say that to me. Because women especially, you know, we're very hard on ourselves. And it's really important that if you're going to do photography for yourself, for your company, get to know the person who's going to be photographing you. Don't just walk in and say, oh, I'd like to have a picture of myself here.
Good point.
No, yeah, you really, because that's how you will get the authentic photo.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Because you'll then become more relaxed. So
Yes.
when you're in front of that camera or that video, interesting. Doing the video, that's a very interesting piece and something I didn't think about. But it's getting that person to relax so they're not looking that way that they don't want to look, that they're looking the way people really will appreciate where they're coming from. Good point. So I think in summary, in sales, no matter what you're doing, whether you're a videographer with your own business, Odyssey, and then transitioning to radio, like you said, where nobody's seeing you, but that's not 100% true. Because I saw you out in the community doing what you did, and I saw you recording and being live in the community a lot. So your presence was everywhere as in that role at WTTR. And then when you went to Kohn, you pretty much did the same thing. So all three of those gigs, if you will, were about you interacting with the community. And I think one of the things women, in particular, as you said, and that's one of the purposes of doing this video, is to show the viewers that you can be done. Your presence is important. And even if it has to be on video, virtual and so forth, you can still have that impact. The magazine then takes it, as you've said to me, that magazine is sitting on somebody's coffee table or desk for a period of time. So talk a little bit about that and how powerful advertising in a magazine can be.
Well, you know, I'm very proud to be at Carol Magazine, Kohn Creative, because when I first, because I've always been visual in a different way, and for somebody to say to me, who loves to talk to people, touch people, be friends with people right away, to say, well, you have to sell a magazine. Well, how do I touch a magazine, you know? But it becomes a part of the person, not the magazine. When you know the person, you know what you want them to have in that magazine, to show the best of their qualities, the best of what they do, the best of what they want to do. And I just think it's, number one, it's just so important, and I have to say for women, that we really have to put ourselves where we know we are, we can be, and it gives everybody such a good feeling. We want to have a good feeling when we walk out of anything,
Sure.
a shoot, this or that. But when we walk out and we've made the other people also feel good, then you become a team, and then everybody gets the quality and the best that they are going to get from anything that they're doing.
So it's almost like you yourself have been a leader in the community. You may not look at yourself as being a leader, but I would say to other ladies, especially at the events I've attended where you've been there, I've watched people come up to you. They know who you are and there's a great respect because that authenticity has come through, thus giving them the power, much like yourself. It's almost like it transformed. You've transformed or you transcended your power and your likability to the people around you. I've noticed that, Donna.
Well, it's a gift I have that's real, I don't just go up and make statements to people. When I come up and talk with someone and everything that I talk with them about, it's a real feeling. And then we become friends, or maybe we don't see each other again, but we know each other on a different level. Women have different levels of having women friends. And, for me, and I know for you, we want to make women feel good about where they are. Like we said, everybody can't work for Michael Jordan.
Right.
But I want everybody to get that feeling from whatever they do. This is your Michael Jordan,
Right. That's a good statement. That's a powerful statement.
Wow.
To look at each client like they are the highest and best, like they are the greatest.
Yes.
And I think when you lose sight, like we're all people, yes, but we're also all individuals with
That's
a
it.
lot behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a lot of experiences, much like you've said in your interview here today, which is very powerful. Even though we're doing this for 20 minutes or so, it still covers decades of your experience, bringing it all coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an important piece of WOW for the ladies of WOW to understand that sometimes, like myself, I spoke to coming here today, that I want to get this done. I want to be everything to everyone, and I want to embrace every woman I can of all occupations and so forth. And I have to think to myself, this will come with time. And it's building blocks, much like you've done, much like you've talked about here today. It's a building process. It didn't all come to you at one time. You didn't know you were going to be in the newspaper business or magazine subscription business or be on radio and meet all the people, much like I didn't know from mortgage I was going to be here taking WOW to this level. So it's very exciting to look back and see what you've done. You're very proud of what you have done, and I'm really proud of you as well.
Well, I have to throw that back to you because, yes, we've been friends for a long time, but I have seen you've had good times, you've had bad times, and some of these times would have taken somebody else down. But you know what it does? You make other people feel better. It doesn't matter.
Thank you, Donna.
Well, it's true. It's true.
Thank you.
And whatever is going through, if it's good, that's great. If it's not good, it's a good situation. You will help them through that and help them to realize what they need to do to get out of something that's a negative and turn it into a positive. That's what you do.
I think one of the things, the word empathy comes to mind, and it's so overused, so I don't like to use words like that, but I think for people to understand, empathy and sympathy are very different. To feel sorry for someone when they're in a bad way.
Right.
But to truly empathize where you understand where they're coming from so that you can relate. Even though I haven't been in your line of business, I can certainly understand and also understand when you had some challenging times because I can relate to that. And that's really important as women get together because it hasn't been a gravy train. It hasn't been one where we've been able to be a success. Few people can tout that. And WOW, we're willing to treat everyone as equal. We're willing to help each other, counsel them, give them the support that they need because that's a part of the whole process. And it somewhat organically grows with you. And I hope we see much more of you in WOW I can't wait for the ladies for us to get this video together and put it out there for the world to see how wonderful you are, all the accomplishments you've made. So if someone were interested in reaching out to you, what is the best way they can contact you?
Probably by phone. You know, of course I've got my email and things like that at Kohn, but usually people can just, I'm very, you know, accessible.
And what number would they call?
443-275-3062.
Very good. Yeah, I think phone is very powerful. That way, if you're busy or your mailbox is full, people can then just text you, give a little brief account of what they want to connect with you about, and then you can follow up with them as promptly as you possibly can. And that's the main thing too. I don't think your success would have been done, or you would have achieved such success if you weren't prompt in returning calls, prompt in following up with the emails like you mentioned. So I think consistency, continuity, and response time are very, very important pieces to becoming a successful businesswoman. And using skills like virtual and camera, video, and so forth, stretch yourself a little bit. It may be uncomfortable, it was for me, but stretch yourself a little bit. So Donna Biemiller of Kohn Creative, which is the business which creates Carol Magazine here locally. It's produced and passed out into the county, mailed to them, business partners, and so forth. So WOW has been a part of that, will continue to be a part of that when they do their Powerful July, August, I believe. Don't hold me 100% to that, about business women. And I think it's just great at what you're doing, how you've done it. I hope that you all will look at Donna and her video on the WOW website. I also hope that you will take a look at our WOW website, wowwomenus.com. I appreciate you and for all you add to your community. The WOW community gives you much more WOW-ness, and we'd like you to join. Barbara E. Ringrose, founder of WOW, Women Optimizing Women. Donna Biemiller of Kohn Creative with this amazing Carol Magazine. I thank you so much for taking time, because this was some time that you could be making phone calls and joining us today and helping the other ladies.
There's nothing more important than being with someone that is a friend, that if in any way I can be with them, to help them, to go forward. But I have to say, Barbara needs no help from me. She is one of the most amazing people. She doesn't pay me to say this, but I know her, and she truly is. I mean, from heart to every other part of her body, she will help anybody with anything. She's so resourceful and comes up with ideas that people are like, I never would have thought of that. She's amazing, and she's an authentic, beautiful person.
Well, thank you for that very, very much. I appreciate that at this station, that's for sure. It's the women of WOW who make WOW what it is. It really is. It's that community of women that have brought it to where it is today, and I'm sure it'll be soaring higher as we go forward. Thank you. Stay well.